Hello everyone, here is our lesson number 3. We are still in the exercise 1 and we did already what is an equation of a straight line and what are the domain and range of a graph. Alright, so now we enter the number 3, intersection. So intersection is everything about points where it crosses an axis or where two lines are crossing each other. Alright, so there is 3 points to see in this lesson, and the first one is the y-intercept. Alright, so let's write together these 3 interceptions. The y-intercept is the value of y when x equals 0. This is the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. So, if you want to look on the graph here, we have a straight line, for example 2x plus 3, and the y-intercept is going to be the exact y value where this line intercepts the y-axis. So for the y-intercept, it's the point for x equals 0. X is 0 in the center, and for x equals 0, we have the y-intercept for this line, it's 3. So, the answer for the y-intercept is the set of coordinates where x is 0, y is 3. So you must write your answer with 2 brackets and the semicolon, it's coordinates for 1 point. Alright, so remember, when you want the y-intercept, you substitute x by 0 in the equation and you can calculate it. So for instance, when the graph is 2x plus 3, you substitute x by 0 and you calculate y equals 2 times 0 plus 3, y equals 3, and you give the coordinates x is 0 and y is 3. Alright, which is exactly what we see here, 0, 3. Alright, same thing with the x-intercept. It's exactly the same concept, but now it's the point where the straight line is crossing the x-axis to give the x-intercept. So, for the x-axis to be crossed, that line has to be on the 0 point of y, which is here. So when the y is 0, the line is going to cross the x-axis. So on the graph, you see it's this point here, the x-intercept, and it corresponds to minus 1.5 and 0 for y. Alright. You can as well calculate it using the equation of your straight line. So, in this case, for the x-intercept, you're going to substitute the y by 0. So using that y equals 2x plus 3, you're now changing the y value for 0, and you solve for x in this equation, 0 equals 2x plus 3. Solve for x, now you take the 3 over becomes minus 3, and you divide by 2. Your x value, when y equals 0, it's minus 1.5. Don't forget to give the final answer as coordinates. So x value is minus 1.5 and the y value is 0. So the coordinates of the x-intercept is minus 1.5 when y is 0. Alright, so y-intercept, x equals 0, it crosses the y-axis. X-intercept, y equals 0, it crosses the x-axis. And you always give the answer with set of coordinates. Alright, last thing. Now, if you have 2 lines on the same graph, they can intersect each other, and then you can find the point of intersection. So here, it's not one line crossing one axis, it's 2 lines crossing each other. Okay, so two lines. Let's look at the lesson here. Two lines intersect each other when they are equal. Because if they are on the same spot, that means the 2 points on this specific place are equal, and then the equation of this black line would be equal to the equation of that blue line on this specific intersection. Alright, so you can look at it on the diagram, on the graph, and you can read the x value is going to be here. Right, so intersection is where they cross. It's here for the x value. It looks like it's between 1 and 2, so around 1.5, but it's not easy to be sure graphically. For the y value of the intersection, it looks like it's a 1, but same, we need to confirm it mathematically. So how are we going to do that? We're simply going to take the equations of the two lines. Oh, sorry, that is not the right one. We're simply going to take the equations of the two lines. So the first equation is minus 2x plus 4 for this line, and the second equation is 2x minus 2 for that line. And we want to find the point where they intersect, meaning where are they equal. So we just take the two equations and we equal it to each other. Where y1 is going to be equal to y2, we are going to be on this specific point. Alright, remember one point has two coordinates, the x value and the y value. So first, when you equal the two equations, you're going to solve for x and you're going to get the x value of this intersection. Alright, so we have minus 2x plus 4 equals 2x minus 2 because of the equations of the two lines. And to solve for x, I'm sending the number on one side, keeping the x's on the other side. So I'm simplifying that, and I'm getting x equal 1.5 for x. Alright, so that's what I had here. 1.5 is the x value where the two lines intersect. But I still need the y value. Remember, one point has two coordinates, the x and the y. So now that I know the x is 1.5, I can take that x value and substitute it in any of those two equations. Because 4x is 1.5, the two equations are equal and they're going to give me the same y. So I'm taking any of those two equations and I'm going to follow the same than the lesson. So I substitute it into y1. Alright, so you take your x equals 1.5 and you substitute it into y1. So minus 2 times 1.5 plus 4. You calculate that, the result is y1 equals 1. So, for x is 1.5, your y value is 1. And that is what I could read on the graph. So the points of intersection here of y1 and y2 is the set of coordinates. X is 1.5 and y is 1. That's the coordinates of intersection of the two graphs. Alright, that is it for today. So x-intercept when y is 0, y-intercept when x is 0, and intersection of two graphs when y1 equals y2. You solve for x, and then you don't forget to calculate the corresponding y value to get the set of coordinates. Right? So here we had the intersection of y1 and y2 for x 1.5, y1. Alright. Now that we know where they cross, we can determine when is one graph greater or smaller than the other one. So that is what you have here. Now that we know that the value where they are equal is x equals 1.5, we can see that if the x's are going greater, so 2, 3, etc., the blue line is the one that is above the green line, which means the blue line is superior, it's greater than the green line. Then we would write the blue line being y2, we have y2 greater than y1. Alright, on the other side, when the x's are decreasing from 1, 0, minus 1, etc., we have the green one above the blue one. Therefore, this means that y1 is greater than y2 for x being smaller than 1.5. Alright, so on the right hand side, y2 is greater than y1. On the left hand side, y1 is greater than y2. And the intersection is right where they meet for x equals 1.5. Alright, so to see if you understand everything there, you will have to do this homework. So look, there is 2 exercises. Exercise 1, where you sketch 2 lines and you answer a few questions. And the exercise 2 is already sketched. You just have to read on the graph and answer the questions. Alright, I hope this will feel easy, and ask me questions if you're stuck. I will help you. Alright, bye bye.